Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, hey, it's the Ramble. I'm Alex Bennett, and we'll be here until midnight on the East Coast of the United States. I bet you never heard of Boulder City, Nevada. This guy has. He lives there.
And he's leaving.
Huh?
And he's leaving.
When are you leaving?
End of next week.
Next week. Oh, boy. So the next time we talk to you may be somewhere else, right?
I'll be in Massachusetts.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Son of a bitch. It's terrific. Huh?
Yeah.
You're looking forward to it?
Yeah, and a little hesitant too. A little stressed out.
Yeah. Yeah. Why are you stressed out? Just the move itself? Moving's always stressful.
Right. The moving itself, when I moved out to California the first time, I had a Volkswagen Bug, I had a handful of Black Beauties, and an ounce of weed. A backpack. All I had for belongings was a backpack and a guitar. Now there's furniture that's got to go, and there's this that's got to go, and it's just a whole pain in the ass.
You're like a snowball rolling downhill. Really. And you keep gathering all this stuff as you're going downhill.
Yes, that's incredibly true.
When I first moved to, I think it was Texas, where I moved from California, everything I owned was in the trunk of my car in the back seat.
Right.
Then when I moved out of Texas to go to Minneapolis, everything I owned was in a moving truck.
There you go.
And eventually, I think somewhere along the line, I shed almost everything because I just didn't want to move it. I think when I moved from New York to California, I didn't bring much stuff with me.
No, I'm bringing like clothes and books and mementos and stuff like that. But like the furniture, I'm not taking the bed. I'm not taking the sofa.
Yeah. Right.
Because I got a bedroom set already waiting for me. It's in the apartment, and I got a sofa and a recliner.
Yeah.
So what else do I need?
Exactly. So, what kind of memorabilia are you taking with you?
Well, like my juggling stuff. Did I hurt you with that one? The juggling stuff?
Yeah, I was just, my eyes are tearing today too because we've got allergies out there like crazy. But no, I juggling stuff?
Yeah, pins, balls, different array of
wait a
plungers.
minute. Hold on a second. Is it possible for you to do some juggling for us right now?
No, absolutely not. It's already packed.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So is the drum set.
Because I was never able to accomplish any kind of juggling. I could juggle 2 balls. That was it.
Well, I could teach you.
Are you really good? Are you really good?
I was at one time.
Yeah. How about?
I haven't juggled in probably 30 years.
And yet you've kept the juggling equipment.
Right.
And they're kind of heavy, aren't they, some of them?
The balls are heavy. The pins are custom made, so they're not that heavy.
Yeah. What do you mean they're custom made?
I mean, I was living in Worcester, and I had them made in New York and then shipped out to me.
Oh, wow. God, I wish you had your balls. No, wait a minute. That's not right.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Me too.
That's not right. I wish you had your juggling balls, because then we could have you juggle for us on the show. That would be a first,
Well, maybe next time.
Yeah.
I have to pull the stuff out and actually practice.
Do you think you would have trouble the first time? Or is
yeah.
Or is it?
Oh, yeah.
So it's not the memory that you have that makes you do it, right?
Right. At this point, it's starting over.
Really? But you know the basics, though.
Yeah, I know the pattern. I know the right way to juggle.
Yeah.
you know, and I could teach Little Feet. Remember the band Little Feet?
Yeah.
Okay, they're great to juggle to. That's how I used to teach people how to juggle with Little Feet's music.
Really?
Yeah, because the beat is so profound
Yeah.
that it makes juggling easier. You start juggling to the music.
Now, at your best, how many balls could you juggle at one time?
5,
5.
right?
I'm envious. Only could get up to 2, which is, of course, anybody can do 2.
That's right. Oh, do 2 in one hand.
2 in one hand. Well, that I couldn't do.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Now, how did we get on the topic of juggling?
Well, because you brought it up that you were sending your juggling balls back to Massachusetts. And I
It'll
wondered.
be my first real win. Oh, you know, I checked out my passport, you know,
Yeah.
and I thought it, I thought it expired in 2021. I found out I looked at it, it expired 9 years ago.
Boy, you have been in a coma, haven't you?
Yes. And I went up to Canada with an expired passport. Nobody said squat.
My passport expired, so
Yeah,
it was
mine
going to expire. In fact, the old one has expired, so I sent away for a new one. But this
Right.
being the coronavirus time, what
Right.
should have taken like 2 months max took 4 months.
Right.
Took 4 months. So
You
I
have to
got
send in a
the
picture?
passport and I got a passport card.
The passport card?
Yeah, which they say is not good for international travel. So why the fuck did I get it?
I have no idea, Alex.
Supposedly, if I go to Canada, I don't have to bring a passport. I just take my passport card and show them the card, showing that I
Maybe.
have a passport. You know.
Maybe. I mean, is that what I'll get? Because I got to renew mine.
You can ask for a passport card. They charge you more for it. You know, they charge a lot of money now for passports. It's like $100 for a passport, maybe
Is
$110.
that right?
Yeah, and then another $30 for the card.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and then
That's
once you've got it, you can't go anywhere because there are no countries that will let you in, and there are no airplanes you want to get on.
right. That's the other thing is I've already bought my plane ticket, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and my big fear is the airline that I've booked it with will go out of business before I actually get to the airport.
That could be. What airline did you do it through?
Spirit.
Spirit? Wasn't that a cigarette?
I think so.
I didn't know it was a Spirit
Alex,
Airlines.
check out the flight. The flight cost me $37.99
What to?
from Vegas to Boston.
How much?
$37.59.
What are you gonna be doing? Sitting on the wing?
Probably holding one engine on. I bring the duct tape to hold the engine on.
Well, don't forget to wear 2 masks on that flight.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Oh man, it's the new normal. It's just
It's ridiculous.
and for a guy like you, I mean, you're a comic. I talked to Pearl. He hasn't been working.
No, nobody's been working. I mean, I've seen a couple of people post small gigs. Oh, I'm doing the animal rescue, the SPCA,
Yeah.
and the commercials.
Yeah.
Have you seen the commercials?
What? For,
Me and you know Mark Pitter, right?
yeah.
Yeah, we're doing a little satire on that commercial.
Oh, okay. But which one? I mean, ASPCA. The only one I ever see is the one with animals with doughy eyes missing a paw.
Right. Now this one they have celebrity, like spokespeople, like the guy from Will and Grace, whatever his name is, Eric McCormick.
Yeah. Yeah.
He does one, and then there's another lady that I can't remember who it is, does one.
Wow.
And the commercial ends with the lady holding a cat in her lap, and she's petting it. And I'm going to be the cat.
You're going to be the cat?
Yes.
Okay. How are you doing this? On Zoom?
Pitta's got all the video equipment.
No, okay. Yeah, but he's going to do it through Zoom, right?
No, we'll probably get together.
Well, Pitt is in California.
No, Pitta's in Las Vegas.
Oh, is he? Is he moved to Las Vegas?
Yes.
Oh, I'll have to get a hold of him because I've been wanting to talk to him anyway. So he's going to come out to Boulder City, or you're going to go to him?
I'm going to go to Vegas. I think he's got like a little studio set up in his apartment.
Yeah. Now, do you have a car?
Yes.
What are you doing with your car?
I'm having it shipped out.
Oh, really? Why didn't you just drive it?
It actually would have cost me more money to drive it.
Well, the gas would be more than $37.99 or whatever price you gave me for that.
That's correct.
That flight, which I'm not sure even exists. You know,
I got it through cheapo tickets.
Cheapo tickets. Well, I mean, look, as long as the flight is there and as long as you get on it, as long as they get you to Massachusetts, that's really all that matters, right?
Right. And I wanted a direct flight. I didn't want to stop.
Yeah. Oh, it's a direct flight?
Yes.
Spirit Airlines? I mean, I've heard of them, but I didn't know they were that cheap.
Well, right now, plane tickets are relatively cheap right now because of the virus.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to get on an airplane.
Yeah. So you're taking that chance.
Yes. I don't really have a choice.
Well, how infected is Nevada right now?
Nevada's it's next. Arizona's worse, California's worse, and Nevada's not real good either.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, most people are isolated, quarantined anyway. I mean, today it's going to be like 113 degrees. It's going to cool off to 111.
Where you live right now?
Right. By 10 o'clock, by right now, it's over 100 degrees.
You know, that just the heat alone would prevent social distancing, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, right?
You know, or enhanced social distancing. Who wants to go out in that kind of weather?
Nobody.
I hear people say, oh, yeah, but it's a dry heat.
That's bullshit.
I don't care. It's 113 fucking degrees.
Right. And yesterday it was actually humid on top of it.
Oh, boy. So anyway, we're, you know, the weather on top of it, at least here, it's been really nice. You know?
Right, I bet. You going to get out for a walk today?
No. Every time I go out for a walk, there are people trying to get me infected in my neighborhood. Yesterday, I'm waiting for a lift to take me to my dentist for my root canal.
Right.
And some crazy black woman, and I say black woman because the blacks in this neighborhood have a tendency not to wear masks.
Is that right?
There's some kind of sociological thing they have against masks. I don't know what it is. Some people have explained it to me, but I don't understand it. But that's also why they're getting a great deal of these, you know, dying of COVID, is because they're not masking.
Right.
And because some of them, do you know that I saw a statistic that 4 out of 5 black women are fat, are obese?
Oh, I believe it.
And obesity is one of the real, I mean, they say, oh, my father died, and they show a picture of her father, and he's huge.
Right.
You know, and some of them white folks. I'm not trying to talk about blacks in any negative way, but hey, it's the neighborhood I live in. I live in a predominantly black neighborhood. But anyway, this woman comes up to me without a mask and shouts in my face, "Get out of my way!"
For no reason.
No reason, but right in my face without a mask.
That would have pissed me off.
Yeah, but what am I going to do? Number one, I'm waiting for a car, and do I want to create an incident? You know?
Right. Better just walk away.
Better just walk away. And so I hope I didn't get coronavirus from her, because she looked like she could be infected. She was like a...
Or defective.
Well, we've got all these street people who are hovering around our apartment because it's got some kind of shelter in it, because they're working on the building, and Cuomo threw them all out of the subways. So they're now in the streets.
Sure.
You know, yeah. Hey, listen, I've run out of time. We want to do it.
Alrighty.
Want to do another one of these for the bank,
Sure.
so that while you're traveling, we can not miss a beat.
That's perfect. Let's do
Okay,
another one.
ladies and gentlemen, that's Stephen Kravitz. Say goodbye,
Thank you very
Stephen.
much.
Goodbye.
Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Bow. Oh, that one does not have the last. It should have a last bow on it. Boom, bow, boo, ba ba, boo, bop, boo, bop, or something. I don't know. Anyway, hello everybody. How are you? Oh boy, I don't know. Tired all the time. I don't know what this is. I think it's. I see. I wish I could get out. Okay, but when you go out, what is there? There's of course people in my neighborhood coughing in my face. Not wearing masks. But I say, okay, I'll go down to the store, and I go down to the store, and that's it. What am I going to do? Normally what I would do is I go, hey, it's a nice day today. I think I'll get on the subway. I'll go down to Washington Square Park and go sit in the park down there, downtown. Or maybe I'll go down to Italy and buy some ravioli. But no, you know, I can't do that. We can't do that in this pandemic. It isn't that easy. Then on top of that, see that? You know why I'm doing that? Because this eye is just tearing like crazy today. And I can't do anything about it. I guess I'll just have to go to sleep tonight and hope it's better tomorrow. But anyway, it's time, I think, for us to go to the citizen panel. Now, how you can do that if you want to do the citizen panel is if you're watching us on our YouTube feed, there's just you just click on that HTTPS thing there, and that should do it for you. Okay, I think, should it? I guess. Yeah, it will. Okay, and if you're not there, you can go over to Facebook and go to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/A Bennett. Or you can, let's see here, where else can you go to get it? Oh, yeah, you go to the gabnet.net page, gabnet.net. And there's over on the side, about halfway down on the right-hand side, it says click here to Zoom. And all you do is you just click on that. I don't care. You don't even have to have Zoom installed. Zoom will do all the heavy lifting. If you have Zoom installed, all the better, okay? It's a very simple thing to install. But this is really a no-brainer, I got to tell you. Really a no-brainer. In fact, no, I don't want to remove Charlie Wallace. But what is that? I hit. You see, I told you it was so easy, and then I hit the wrong button. I have to hit all the ones that say admit. Okay, and here they come. Here is our group of people. Let's see here. Who do we have so far? Okay, we got. Well, we would like to say we have Jeff Stein, but apparently Jeff isn't there. Okay, look at that. Oh, there he is. He's about. There we go. There he is, Jeff. Connect your audio, Jeff. Okay. What? He has a bloody nose or something? Hello to everybody. How are you this evening?
Good evening, everyone.
Robert Natali and Charlie Wallace and Jeff Stein. It says is connecting to audio. Click on your audio thing. Where does he go to click on the audio? I think there's just a thing in there that you click on. Yeah. See over on the left-hand side on the bottom. Where does he go to click on the audio? Now I can hear him, but he's got the audio going. Okay, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I'm on now.
You're on now. Oh, no problem. Anyway, excuse my tearing eyes. Jeez Almighty, I'm supposed to get an operation. Yeah, another operation. I think my whole life is nothing but one set of operation, operation after another. Okay, but to take care of these droopy lids I have here, and that will keep me. But then it will stop that burning that I feel with the with the stuff. But I can't do it till November. That's when the first time they'll be able to see me. So I'm going to have to suffer with this until then. So please live with me. Robert, saw you yesterday.
Yes.
Saw Charlie yesterday too when we did our
Yep.
little Monday thing, which we love doing, and it gets an incredible sized audience. It's amazing. I'm amazed by it. It's maybe I ought to move the show to 4 o'clock in the afternoon because there seem to be more people available at that time. You were there too, Vernon. I forgot. Yeah, Vernon was there yesterday too. So anyway, hello to everybody. How was your weekend?
Good.
It was good. Any
Hot.
hot? How hot
Yeah.
is it in Texas? It's what, 103 or something?
Yeah, well, it got up to 104 today in Austin.
Oh, so that's winter in Austin.
Yeah, 21 days in a row of over 100 degrees.
Oh my God! How do you live with it?
Well, I'm not going outside anyway, so.
Yeah. It's a good excuse to stay indoors. John Larkin, how's everything in San Francisco? Is the weather okay?
It's been kind of humid the last couple of days, for San Francisco,
Yeah.
but not too hot. San Francisco never gets too hot.
We've
It's
been
really humid.
you've been having some fires up there, haven't you?
Yeah, up in Napa, up that way.
In fact, they were showing there was a photograph of lightning hitting the Golden Gate Bridge the other night,
Yeah.
and you didn't see that kind of thing all that often.
No, I was sleeping. It was in the middle of the night when all that was going on.
Oh man. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then winter will come and we'll all get floods, and we're in the time of the coronavirus isn't the only thing trying to get us. Okay. So, what the hell? How you doing, Jeff? Go turn on your mic, Jeff. You're muted, Jeff.
Bingo, I'm on.
Yeah, see.
I saw your show on the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it at the end.
Oh, at the end. Okay.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, we had with myself 9 people. That was nice.
It was a fun group.
Yeah. Well, what I like about the Mondays is they're non-confrontational. It's kind of a very low-key show. Okay. That's why we're all praying that Phil never calls it. Okay. Because it's just like, it's not like everybody wants to bash Trump. There are other things we talk about, and everybody's kind of copacetic, So, anyway, how you doing, Phil?
It's 93 degrees right now in Walnut Creek.
Yikes.
93. It is hot.
Something, I'm not surprised, though, because I always remember Contra Costa as during the summer, getting quite hot.
Oh, and I had to go to the city today, which was a pleasure. It was 78.
Yeah.
Or at least according to the thing in my car.
Yeah.
But, after I did an estimate, and then afterwards I met with that guy, Paul Young, who writes into the show once in a while. We had a cigar, a couple of glasses of wine.
Yeah.
It was a nice afternoon.
Yeah, I've never met the guy. He writes a lot of notes on while the show's running and so on.
He's a very nice.
He seems to be a very nice guy, and always been a very big supporter of mine. So I appreciate that. But that's not the only reason I should like him. I'm not like Trump. I don't like people just because they have something nice to say about me.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. And it was a pleasant day. He had a buddy who's got a place in the Presidio that looks out over the bay. It's beyond the Golden Gate Bridge, but the view was spectacular. And it was a nice, cool breeze coming in off the bay. It was a pleasure. Now I'm back here. It's it went down.
Was everybody wearing masks and stuff?
The cigar keeps the cold.
Yeah,
away.
sure. I mean, no, how did you deal with that? I mean, like when I have friends of Marjorie's come up, or friends of ours, like we're having dinner with a friend of ours, Natalia, and I said to Marjorie, I said, you don't think she'd mind if I use my temperature gun to make sure she doesn't have a fever, right?
Well, he had mentioned that just like you, his wife is going back to work and had a COVID test the other day and tested, clear.
Negative.
So figured, like you thought with Marjorie's test that you're clear as well.
Well, I would think that if she didn't have it, that I didn't have it. You
Right.
know, I mean, is that wrong for me to think, Brian? Is that false thinking? No.
Yep. That's,
I think if she would have it, you would have it for sure.
Yeah.
Or if I had it, I would have given it to her.
Unfortunately,
Yeah. What were you said, Jeff? You didn't agree.
well, yes, but I don't agree with that. You have no idea she could have gotten it from somebody else.
No, but I mean, but she didn't have it. What I'm saying is,
Why not?
she tested negative. Now, here's the thing. Since then, she's been out. I've been out. I went down. I've taken buses,
Yeah.
which the one yesterday was deadly. I had to keep my hand over my face, because people. Here's what they do. Wait a minute, do I have my mask? I mean, I don't understand it. Here's my mask. Wait a minute. Let me get my mask. It doesn't say anything on it or anything like that. But,
Well, that's
here's the
the
way you wear
standard
your
one.
mask, right?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Brian.
Standard disposable.
Huh?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. this
yeah.
is-
Got the little metal tab up there that I like.
Yeah.
I get those from work. So, but I like that one. My other one is too thick and it's big because I have a sort of big face, but
Yeah.
that one and I
Yeah.
get right around my big nose and my
Right.
Italian nose and
Right.
it fits really nice and stuck and I can breathe through it. The other one's very tough.
Yeah, now here's what happens though. Get on the bus. There's one person like this. Boy, that really works, doesn't it, huh?
Cool.
Okay.
It
But
keeps the jaw up.
Well, it's a chin guard is really what it is, okay? But then the next one was this. That does nothing. Okay?
Work people in the cubes are supposed to wear masks. We have mask requirement now.
Yeah.
In the offices they don't, so I have an office. So when I do leave, I always have to have my mask. So, but some people do that, and I always just ask. I just go like this.
But
as
this,
a sort of
you may as well
reminder.
not even be wearing it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
this is the way to do it. And then you pinch the top because it's
Yeah.
got a little wire in there.
Yeah.
And I always keep an extra one in my pocket in case this one breaks because these are not, these are going to break pretty easily,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have found ways to repair them. You stick a little pin through it, and you can weave
Yeah.
the elastic.
But I
back.
Thanks, Martha.
believe it or not, we have about 250 of them in the apartment because Marjorie has had them sent by the people in China to us. And certainly they know about COVID. So wait a minute, hold on a second. How did that happen?
Do they buy those masks in China from the U.S. because they're cheaper when we send them over? there?
No, I think they actually these are these are probably Chinese-made masks.
Ours are.
Yours are?
Yeah, and they're less expensive. Yeah.
Well,
Well, we
they're
get them through Thermo Fisher or BWR. So
They're less expensive, and I mean, I have the N95, but I just find they're too much.
Yeah.
They're oppressive. And they say now, don't get ones with vents in them, because the vents don't prevent at least your breath from going out. Because they have a little, But
When I was getting the radiation,
yeah,
and you'd walk into the hospital, I'd wear the N95 with the vent, and they would give me one of those surgical masks to put over it. So every
Yeah.
day I'd pull out the N95 with the vent, walk in, get a free surgical mask, and then, the next day, another.
I went to my dentist yesterday for part 3 of my, what do you call it? Root canal.
Root canal.
Root canal. And she's wearing 2 masks. She was wearing an N95 and as her main one, and then over that she was wearing one of these. And I said, "Why are you wearing 2 masks?" She says, "To protect you, because we're working in close with you. You can't wear a mask while we're doing this work, so we're doing it to protect you."
My dental hygienist wore not only the mask but a shield, a plastic shield, Robert looked like he was going to say the same thing.
You have allergies too, Tony?
No, I got all emotional watching Biden's wife give this speech. I swear
Oh
to
my God. Same here.
he is in trouble. I was going to get crying on the couch.
What do you mean he's in trouble?
Trump is done.
Oh,
after this speech.
Trump's
I
in
just saw
trouble.
tonight. Oh my!
Yeah,
She
look-
had me in tears, Alex. I was crying a little bit.
I didn't
said,
I
"I'm
didn't
out of the room."
I didn't see it because I'm getting ready for the show. Do you agree, Brian? Was it
Yeah, you know, he had a life, you know, so
he had a
Yeah,
very
see-
he's had a very tragic life.
yeah, he went into detail how they met through a friend and stuff like that, little joking stuff, you know. So I mean, he's a really good guy too, you know, which is really nice. The empathy is there.
And he had to ask her to marry him 5 times
Yeah.
before she said yes.
Well, I heard that saw an interview with her on CBS a couple of weeks ago, and the reason he had to ask 5 times was she really wasn't sure because he had been through so much. She didn't want. It wasn't that she didn't want to take it on, but she wanted to make sure he really wanted this, and it wasn't just that he was grabbing onto her because it was like a life raft, you know.
Yeah.
And but it's a wonderful story, and you know, I mean, I'm sure Phil will have a different opinion, but
Brian,
no matter what you think about him politically, Joe Biden's a good guy.
He is. Yeah, he sounds like a good guy. I feel Trump's in trouble, Alex. I don't know how he's going to come out from this now. I think this.
Well,
I would run with.
he's not in trouble because what he's going to do is he's trying to stack the deck. Of course, today the post office finally decided this was getting a little too obvious, and they've gone back on their. Oh, you took it off.
Yay!
Tell them the story because you told it yesterday.
There's no story. I don't know what you're talking.
Oh,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, come on.
I was gonna video me and I said, "What am I doing? I can't be that dumb."
There was a two post office boxes side by side, and one of them had this over it.
Yeah, so one of them had a bag over it, and I was wondering why. At first, I thought, well, maybe they're doing some repair on it, but I'm like, what breaks on a mailbox? And
Yeah.
so there's 2 of them. Yeah, there's 2 of them side by side, and I had the pictures somewhere, but there's 2 of them next to each other, so it's a drive-up one. You know, you could dump them in. And yeah, I went by there, and I saw that one bagged up. And then when I talked to you guys about it, then in the morning before work, I drove over there, and it actually was easier because it sort of blew off a little bit, but it was still.
Well, you
covering
asked
all-
if you
I
could
just
be asked if you could be arrested for defacing a mailbox, and not really because you're not defacing it, you're returning it to the way it should be.
Yeah, and it was just like painter's.
You know,
tape,
for all
so-
you know, the post office didn't do that.
Yeah.
Somebody may have done that.
Could have been. That could have been. Brian,
to the
that could have been.
not where
That
that
could have been
is.
somebody's. That Brian, that could have been somebody's girlfriend. That you put the bag over it. That
So yeah, so I drove up there.
Bump.
I drove up there in the morning, and I just pulled up and started pulling on it and just yanked the thing right off, and I just put the window down and drove off.
Really good. I'm glad you did. But
Brian, you're
today
patriot.
the Trump's lackey at the post office. I'm trying to remember his name right now.
The joy.
Huh?
Joy.
Joy.
The joy.
The joy.
Joy.
That he said that he's going to stop all the changes he was going to do because the optics or something wouldn't look good during the election. But
Yeah,
he
did you-
didn't.
did you-
But he
did
said
you
he's
hear what
going to
Nancy
stop.
Pelosi said, though?
He's going to stop removing the post office boxes, and he's going to stop dismantling the sorting machines. But he didn't say he was going to put the mailboxes back, and he was going to restore the sorting machine. So the damage may have already been done.
Did you hear what Nancy Pelosi said about that, Alex?
What?
Nancy Pelosi said it's like he took 3 steps forward and a tiny baby step backwards.
Yeah, he got enough done that it was time to say,
Yeah.
"Oh well, maybe we better not do that." But
if
he didn't.
Biden gets elected, he's going to remove the payphones and he's going to outlaw pagers.
Yay!
Yeah.
Big deal.
What's a pager?
And he might make the cavalry get rid of their horses too.
By the way, I
Outlaw
never
record
went out of style because I never owned a pager. How many here owned a pager?
What would I do with it?
I
Nothing.
never owned a pager. I never saw
I always
any
thought that was
reason to have a pager. Hey, I've got a phone. Call me. You
What
know?
about the movies? Didn't the drug dealers have the pages in all the movies?
Yes, of course.
You know, I was in Australia at a duty-free shop, and I bought a watch.
Yeah.
And so I said to the guy, "How much more is it for the one with the date?" And the guy says it's $500 more. I said, this is 1996. I said, I really don't need that. I got a pager. I know what day it is.
Yeah. I never had a pager.
I got a watch.
Never saw any reason to have one. I don't know.
I stopped wearing a watch because my phone has the correct time on it all the time.
Yeah. I started wearing a watch because it has my phone on it. Yeah.
I've never paid for a phone. So since phones have been started, I was always into a manufacturing position. So the companies always gave me a phone. So I've always had a phone.
So you've always had a phone. But what about your wife? Does she have her own phone?
Yes.
Is it through the company?
I don't pay for that.
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering.
You're asking all these.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, Marjorie, I think, got her phone paid by her company. You know. But mine didn't. I'm still paying for it. I got 2 more months, and then it's all paid for. And then you know what I'm going to do? Buy a new one.
Buy a new one, yeah.
You know, this is what my business manager said to me once. He said, "Why don't you lease a car?" And I said, "No, I want to own a car." He says, "You never own a car." He said, "What happens when you're down to your last payment?" I said, "Well, I go buy another car." He said, "You never own a car, so you may as well lease it." Only I kept my other car for a while. So what?
It's only if you buy it, there's only enough equity in it to trade it in on another one.
By the way, the audio on your mic sounds weird tonight. Are you using some kind of compression or something on it?
No.
It doesn't sound a little weird tonight for him, because usually it's just booming, you know.
Our new car is a lease, Alex, and the reason we did the lease is because we didn't really need a car payment, but when we started looking at the lease versus the purchase, you don't pay the property tax on the full value of the car when you lease the car. It's only a portion of it. And this car, I got the very minimum, which was like 30,000 miles for 3 years.
Yeah.
That was the minimum lease you could do.
Yeah.
We've had the car now for 15 months, and we only have 6,000 miles on it.
Well, you see, buying it at the end of the term, and then
and then I can buy it at the end of the term.
Yeah,
and I know what the price is going to be, what I can buy it for, so I can turn around and flip it and make a couple of grand.
Exactly. Well, but here's the thing. The thing that drove me crazy about leasing was that you only had a certain amount of miles you could do before they started charging you like 6 cents a mile or something like that.
Right. 5 cents.
Or 5, whatever. And I was always looking at the speedometer. Oh God, I'm getting close to, it was always driving me crazy. So I had 2 cars. The other one was paid off. And so when I saw I was getting too much mileage in a given year on this one, on the lease, I would then go start using the other car,
I had to release a car a couple of times because I had so many miles that if I turned it in, it would have cost me a fortune. So I just leased it again, and the payment was lower. And then finally, after 2 times of doing that, I bought it, and then I sold it.
Yeah, well, I just, I would prefer to own a car. I'm sorry, it's just weird. I know. Because who does that? I mean, how many here are leasing a car? Raise your hand. Oh, just you, Robert, and.
I like my car so much that I wouldn't sell it for just about any price. So now I've had it 9 years, and I plan on driving it another 10 years. And so if I leased it, I'd have to give it up. But I'm perfectly happy.
If you lease it, though, don't you get to deduct it on your, like, if you have a business?
If you have a business, but if you don't have a business, the reason I leased the second car was because I did have a business, and we could then take the taxes off.
That was
the lease.
deductible.
Yes, Brian.
Yeah, my grandfather, he was a salesman when they used to have like a stationary supply store that would actually go out to companies and sell stuff. So he used to buy lease new Cadillacs, and then my mom used to buy them after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so after he turned them in, she bought like 3 or 4 of those. So already knew the condition and good price. So
Yeah. Yes, Jeff.
Yeah, I used to have all kinds of leases, cars like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like you said, it was I own the company, so therefore
Yeah, it made
it-
sense at
cars
that.
too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
lease
especially
all
back
my
then.
computers from Dell for the store. I think I have 7 workstations, and I
Right.
have no more servers. Now I'm on
I don't know
cloud.
what's wrong with your mic tonight.
Let me call back. I don't know.
No, I don't think it has anything to do with that.
I futzed with the things. I turned everything down. I'll just call back.
Okay, well, call back, but I don't think that it has to do with bandwidth.
Let's see. You
Well,
never
go
know.
ahead. You know.
Call back tomorrow.
Come on. Okay, I won't.
I talk shit about him.
I won't let him. I won't let him back
Back in a
in.
couple of days.
I won't let him back in. Okay.
Ah,
No.
Yeah, I got my thingy in the mail today. You guys know what this is?
Oh yeah, I got one of those coming up too.
What's that?
My yearly.
I got Kaiser. Yeah, I got Kaiser too.
What
It's
is it?
the poopers test.
Oh,
Yeah.
Why pooping? Why a pooping
Pooper
test?
They test your
Call us.
poop for
What is
cancer.
that? What is that?
Oh,
My
is that,
sample. I got put in the thing.
is that cold?
No way.
Oh,
I was trying to rush for the show.
Yeah, you lied. You lied.
Tootsie roll. Is the mic any better now?
Yeah, the mic is better.
Yeah, it's working now.
All right.
You missed my sample.
Is that a cold one?
Well, I saw it on the on the iPad.
No, I haven't done the sample yet.
I don't know why I wanted to improve Phil's sound. You know, that's dangerous. Phil, by the way, I wanted to ask you, how's your hormone stuff working for you? Do you feel it at all?
No, I don't feel any different.
They're giving him female hormones. is what they do
I
here.
took one shot that lasts 6 months. So in October, when I go in for the PSA, if I don't have any detectable cancer, I don't need to take another one. But
Okay.
if they do, that's the next deal. And so I'll get one every 6 months until
Until you get a vagina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you already have the man boobs?
Because you seem a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? Sedate.
That's only because I'm trying to. Yeah, really.
Speaking of man boobs, this is Putin. He's been taking the vaccine.
Oh, okay.
Picture him.
Yeah.
I think that's what it says in Spanish or something. Looks like vaccine.
Yeah. Oh boy.
oh,
Yeah. But so you don't feel it affecting you at all?
No, not at this point.
Oh,
But
okay.
God, those Lifetime movies, they're a real,
They're tearjerkers, aren't they? You should have
yeah.
watched Jill Biden tonight.
No, I didn't watch Joe Biden. I was
Jill
watching
Biden.
Jill. I didn't watch
Because
her.
according to Tony, it was a real tearjerker, right?
It was,
You know when they were doing the state counts and stuff.
I enjoyed that. I had to go to the bathroom during it,
Why
but
did that one state pass? Was it New
Delaware.
Hampshire? Yeah,
Delaware.
Why did they pass?
Well, because typically in conventions they have the one of the candidates that they think is going to be the presumptive nominee. They let that state put him over the top.
Right.
But they didn't do that tonight.
they didn't put him
do
over
that.
the top. No.
I
No.
noticed that Bernie Sanders had 1,000 something delegates, and then Biden had 3,700.
Yeah.
But nobody else had any delegates. If you looked at all the other people that were on the ticket, they're all at 0.
That sound is coming back, by the way, Phil. It's not. It's something in your system. But wait till we get off, and you can deal with it then.
I'll reboot later.
Well, yeah, either reboot or.
Sounds
just-
okay to me. I can't tell.
I don't know. I'm hearing something here. It's nothing. Most people probably aren't hearing it.
It's because it's so hot here, and I gave Faye all the fans last night from the unit that I had in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's
You
comfortable.
look tan.
So,
Phil.
the what I found interesting about this whole virtual convention is number one, I hope they do it this way every 4 years. You know, I think it really works. You know, and what you're doing is you're pairing off all the excess weight of a convention and getting down to what a convention always does. A bunch of people giving speeches, one for one thing or another, And then you have the roll call, which worked, but it worked better than it would in a convention because they get up and they go, the great state of blah, 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 where we have the greatest rivers and the greatest streams. I mean, they gave a little speech at the beginning, then they gave their count. And I think that worked really, really well.
They're not going to need it for another 12 years.
What?
Trump said that he'll get reelected. What did he say? He was doing it in jest, but it was
third and fourth term.
Third and fourth term, yeah. So you won't need another convention. They can save them. They can save them.
Yeah. He's going to be in Russia in the next election.
Yeah. Well, I think the Democrats are doing a very good job of it. And there are some people who are saying the Republicans are not going to do as good a job of it because the Democrats felt this is what they had to do months ago, that they weren't going to hold a convention in a convention hall. And so they prepared themselves for this and sussed out how they were going to do it and how the show was going to go. And it was all done. Whereas the Republicans didn't decide till a couple of weeks ago that they were going to hold it virtually. And so they've got to play catch up.
Don't they have that guy, the social media guy that's pretty good at this stuff? He was the campaign manager and now he's just doing the media.
But all I'm saying is getting all this stuff together with a couple of weeks' notice is not the way the Democrats did it. They decided a couple of months ago this is the way it had to go, and they prepared for it this way, and it really works. I mean, it's fast, it's to the point. The speeches are short. They don't go on forever. I think it's working very well for the Democrats. Now, what's going to be interesting is there will be a bounce for Biden after the convention. Why? There's always a bounce for the candidate after the convention. The question is going to be, is there going to be a bounce for Trump after his? And it's got to live up to what these guys are doing right now, or he's not going to have that kind of bump. So it's interesting. It's fascinating.
It's going to be a shit show. It's going to be a shit show when he does it. You know that. It's going to be, because he's a wacko.
Oh, so you can see the future.
Well, come on. Everybody's going to watch it just to see what a nutcase.
You know something? I don't know if I'm going to watch it. I'm so sick and tired of seeing that man.
Yeah.
That I don't know that I want to see his silly face one more time.
I actually gave money to Trump tonight. I looked on.
Why'd you give money to Trump? He's a billionaire, supposedly. He doesn't need the money.
I thought he wasn't never going to use money.
He was going to be self-funded from the get-go.
That was 16. Now, but the thing is, those rubles don't go very far.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
But
well, you know why Edward Snowden hasn't come back to the United States, because Russia is a non-extraditing country.
Right.
Yeah. So that's where Trump's going to end up if he has to leave.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Yeah, that's what I say.
If you look for all these sites that are asking you to donate, many of them say that they're not affiliated with Trump, or with the campaign, that it's independent. So I would figure that a large portion of what you donate goes to them and a small portion goes to the campaign. So I was able to find a site that was actually, the money went to the campaign, and that's why I donated. But I've been getting solicitations.
Before you donate to anyone's campaign, take a 20 out of your wallet, fold it in half, and put it somewhere under a book.
Yeah, well, you don't have to worry about me welching.
Oh yeah. You better get that 20 ready, Phil.
I think
save the 20.
Tony's been telling me that he wants some of that action, but he's going to Trump. So Tony, are you gonna stand up?
After Jill tonight, I don't know.
Jill Schmill. You're either gonna live up to what you've been telling me, or you're gonna scratch your jaw.
I don't know if I can do it. I don't think he's gonna do it, Phil.
Who?
In the last 3-4 days, all Tony talks about is how Trump's going to win, and I want some of that thing, and I'll take some of that bet.
I am worried about the silent vote. That's why I was telling. That's why I don't know if I trust.
What silent vote?
The Russians.
Look how quiet I am.
I'm leery of it, Alex. I'm not that secure as views are in it.
There are polls, and you can say what are the polls worth, because the polls were giving it to Hillary, and actually technically they were right in that she did get the popular vote. They just weren't going by electoral numbers, and there they got it wrong. However, the percentage that she was ahead of Trump was not huge compared to what it is right now. I mean, you could slice Biden's lead in half, and it still wouldn't be how far ahead Hillary was in the last election.
You hear I don't know if it was Real Clear Politics or which one it was, but I heard that there was a poll today that put Trump within a couple of points of Biden. I think
it was a CNN poll.
Was a CNN? It was like 4 points. Was that nationally?
The margin of error was like 3.2 or something like that.
Yeah, but there was a reason they said they felt it had come out that way. That it wasn't typical of the results they have been getting.
It was not his poll.
Well, I mean, who knows, But I think I feel hopeful because I look at the way the Democrats are running this campaign, and it's so much better than it was, 4 years ago. Would you agree, Charlie?
It hasn't started. They just voted him in. He was presumptive. I'm sorry, Charlie. Go ahead.
I would agree that they're running a better campaign than Hillary ran. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's much more focused, and the candidate is much more likable. I mean, let's face it, Hillary was not the most likable of candidates, We've been joined by Bree, and so far we only have his name. What?
A stone-faced pony soldier. He argues, if they let him out in public, he argues with the people that come to his thing. He wants to take them out back and punch them. This guy is off his rocker. If they don't keep him confined to his basement, there's no way he's going to.
Who is this? Who is this?
Biden.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
You don't know Joe the way I know Joe.
Oh yeah. I'll have a cup of
Phil,
Joe.
are at what point, Republicans are dumping Trump like crazy. There are so many. There was a list of about 20 major name Republicans, including some senators and some congressmen, who are going over to the Biden side for this election.
Yes, they're wannabe losers.
Colin Powell was on the Democratic convention tonight.
Yeah.
Endorsing Biden.
And Colin Powell, for all intents and purposes, is a Democrat now.
No, he's still a Republican. He always has been a Republican.
Yeah.
He's still registered Republican. He says so.
Yeah. I'm sure he does. But he hasn't voted. He didn't vote for Trump last time.
Well, you're not a Republican, Phil.
No, I'm a John Bircher.
You're a Trumpian. No, there's a difference. I don't think a lot of self-respecting Republicans like Trump. They don't like what he's done to the party.
Everybody I talk to that is pro-Trump likes Trump. I mean, and there's more and more and more of them, and they're starting to surface.
Where do you find morons?
Yeah,
that often.
And
multiplying.
It's hard in the Bay Area to find people that are conservative. But what?
No, you're not conservative, Phil. There's
nothing conservative about Trump.
And there's nothing conservative about you.
Well, maybe I am for, America first, and I don't think that that's bigoted. I just think that's what every country does.
I think it's selfish.
They look at their own country and they make sure that their citizens are provided for before they start.
But we don't provide for our own citizens,
no,
Phil. That's one of the problems we have.
We've been providing for everyone else's citizens. It's time we provided for ours.
But we don't.
But it's time we did.
Well, when is this?
Maybe we could afford it.
When is this guy going to do it, Phil? Because I'm telling you right now, he hasn't done anything to help the average American.
Well, what about there was the grain shipments prior to the Chinese deal that he had, they were at $310 million, I think, for the year. Now they're at over 300 million. So there's been a really big increase in the grain, and that has to
How come the farmers are still complaining?
Well, just today I heard Donald Trump.
Well, forget it. Don't believe anything he says.
Why would he lie? Why would he lie on national TV?
Well, he's only got like 20,000 lies since he took office.
Yeah.
Why would he lie?
Why would he lie? Because he wants to make the Guinness Book of World Records.
The fact is that grain shipments from the United States to China are up, and they're up big time, and they're up because of what Trump did with China.
He's trying to claim new jobs that he's added since the COVID started too. Yeah. And we haven't even got back to even from all the jobs that have been lost.
So it was the Democrats that shut the place down anyway.
What do you mean we shut it down? We were trying to save lives, Phil.
Yeah. Well, what about the 11,000 lives that Cuomo killed in New York that he sent into adult facility?
That's bullshit.
That's bullshit, Phil. Your numbers are wrong to begin with on the nursing homes. They're wrong. Look, don't give me that, Phil. I don't want. Wait, hold on a second, Phil. I don't want to hear from you again on those kind of statistics, because the other night you came on here and you said that they were predicting 1.4 million people. Wait a minute. Let me finish. We're going to die of COVID. And so you then found an article that said it in the New York Times, and you sent it to me. And do you know what it said, ladies and gentlemen? I put this before you. It read, there will be 1.4 million, or however much the amount was, people dead from COVID if we do nothing. They said if we do nothing, Phil.
Early models said that there were going to be 2.5.
Wait.
Phil.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's assume for a minute that we'll take your interpretation of the article. I disagree with your interpretation, but just for the sake of argument, let's go along with your interpretation. Now answer me this. What exactly are you giving Trump credit for having made that number be lower?
Everything.
What is it he did specifically?
Okay, the early models predicted some 1.7, some 2.5. The one I found in New York said 1.7. Could. Now listen. I listen to you.
Shall we define it?
Listen to me. So the early models predicted this could happen. Now 170. We're at 170,000, give or take, and so instead of the 2.5 million or the 1.7 million.
You didn't answer my question.
I'm finishing.
You pontificated as usual, but you didn't answer my question. I gave you, let's assume for a minute that your interpretation is correct. Then answer the following question. What is it, if Trump did so well, what is it that he did that gets to 2.5 was the number you quoted, by the way. Instead, now we're 170. What is it that he did that made that number better?
And it's still going up.
Okay.
I'm going to hold on a second. Before we do anything, for the people who are listening to us, here is the article that Phil sent me. Okay. See what the headline is? Worst case estimates for U.S. corona deaths.
That's why they call them
It says projections by the CDC scenario show potentially vast toll, but those numbers don't account for interventions now underway.
So my answer is
no. You told us that those were the projections. That was only a projection based on nothing being done.
It was an early model projection.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
It was March.
It was March, but what it wasn't a projection. It was an estimate if there were no interventions underway.
Hey, let me finish.
No, I won't let you finish because you lied to me the other day.
No, I didn't. The interventions that were performed by Donald Trump
which were what?
To 170,000.
Oh, which were what? What interventions did he do, Phil?
The what do you call those things? The things that they needed in the hospitals.
PPEs. All right, freeze. Yeah. You're telling me that in wartime, a president should brag that he built stretchers. Because in effect, that's the parallel here.
The governors
That's the parallel, Phil.
They asked for PPE, they asked for hospitals, they asked for hospital beds, and
that doesn't prevent much. What it does is it helps hospitals. But that didn't calm the number down to 170.
Yeah, come on, Robert. You mean the hospitals don't help people? It's not the
Bill,
efforts.
Did he at any point advocate wearing masks in March, April, or May? No.
No, but Dr. Fauci.
Point, no, you're not letting me finish now.
You let him finish, Phil.
You never shut up.
You do
hey,
that.
Just because you're short doesn't mean you have to be small.
All
Listen
right,
up.
guy.
Listen to other people.
The smaller they are, the harder they fall.
Listen to other people. Oh, that's right. You'd need a gun. That's when you're 4'6". That's what you need to do. Listen to me. He didn't advocate for the wearing of masks through March, April, May, and he even dicked around with it in June, July, and August. A. B. He never once discussed the idea of shutting down. He immediately went right to, let's open up. We need to open up the economy because it suited his political needs. He never at any point helped the states to not compete against each other for masks and PPE. If he took on the Defense Act and made factories build that shit, then states wouldn't have had to pay $750 a fucking mask.
That was one guy in New Jersey that bought a bunch of
No,
expired.
Phil. In fact, Cuomo. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Cuomo at the time was complaining that these masks, which normally would cost him $1 or something like that, was costing $750 a piece, and they had to buy them from China.
You know why? China had contracts in place with 3M. Now, those contracts had to be contractually fulfilled by 3M company, and they had to provide those to China.
Excuse me, I have a cough. Bullshit.
China was buying up the PPE because they knew what they were ready to.
Why didn't Trump do something about that?
Well, you don't interfere with.
It's called the Defense Production Act.
Phil,
he did nothing.
Phil, you're being asked. We're asked a very simple question, and you never gave a simple answer. What the fuck did he do?
He got the ventilators.
Oh yeah, after he was begged for them. After
he
didn't think anybody needed them in the beginning.
Cuomo said that Trump was doing such a wonderful job.
No, that he asked for some things out of Trump, and he praised Trump for giving them to New York. We never needed them, by the way, but it was good to have them here in case we did need them. We didn't need the ship. Hold on a second. We didn't need the ship, and we didn't need Javits Center. But that's because Cuomo managed to stem the tide by urging people to wear masks, by taking certain women. Hold on a second, Phil. Don't be so anxious to jump in, okay? Cuomo took decisive action that saved my life and the life of a lot of New Yorkers. And a lot of New Yorkers died because we weren't prepared for it, because the president closed down China, but he didn't close down Europe.
There was no reason to close.
Oh, yes, there was.
Well, if China had put a ban on travel within China, but they didn't put a ban on travel.
Phil, forget about what China did or didn't do. What happened was, hold on a second, Phil, you're not listening. You're not listening. The fact was that people left China and went to Europe, and that's how it came in here. And the CDC wasn't warning about that, and because the president didn't do anything about it, in the time between February 15th, I think, and like March, something like 3,000 people came in from Europe, many of them infected with the coronavirus. And we didn't see that coming, and that's why New York and New Jersey got hit so hard.
Yeah, you know what it was?
Because the president was so intent on doing something nasty about China I mean, to this day, it's the China virus, you know.
You're reading into it.
No, you know what it is? It's the Trump virus.
No, China attacked the world, and they didn't want their
No,
economy to go down, so they-
Phil,
That's a
quit
fucking
sounding
Hannity.
like an asshole.
Would you have an original thought? Just
It is
once.
an original thought. It's the
What
truth.
conspiracy theory did you get that off
Bobby,
of?
it's the truth. It's the truth. That's what you can't
Only
handle.
you know it.
What
Only
conspiracy
you
theory
know it in
website
the
did you
whole
get that
world.
off of?
You know it.
It's so obvious. Except
Oh yeah, it's real obvious. He's out playing golf while fucking people are dying. That's obvious.
Yeah, why is he playing golf while people are dying?
His brother died.
got his
when-
own golf club.
His brother died. He was on the golf course the next night.
Oh, so that's the reason.
I mean, I
That's
didn't
the
be golfing
reason.
myself.
He plays golf because he owns a golf club. Now
It's a
that makes
stressful job.
perfect sense.
It's a stressful job, and at least he's
Not the way he does it. He has executive time until 11 a.m.
Fucker don't get out of bed until 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
Why?
Toxins
Do you
friends.
put the sheets off? Is that what you do? That you don't
Hey.
that you know when he gets
Hi,
out?
Bree. How are you? Just wanted to say hello to Bree.
I'll be
Yeah,
right
you know how
back.
much?
Yes,
you know how
Brian.
much
I
his
think
his-
that Trump will win, and it's probably a good thing. If Bernie Sanders couldn't break through this year,
Mhm.
I don't know under what circumstances he would. But I think the next 4 years, if Trump can get back in there, I think then the Democrat Party would learn its lesson.
Yeah.
I think they've
They
learned it
haven't
already.
learned the lesson. Bill Maher said it correctly. Biden's numbers are lower than Hillary's in the states where he needs to win. It looks like Trump for me because he's going to be able to go to those states and make sure the person who confirms the votes is in his loyalist pocket. It
Hillary
looks like
never
4 years
had
from
Florida. Hillary never led in Florida by double digits.
yeah,
I'm predicting a Trump
And-
victory.
and
And if he doesn't win, will you come on here and say I was wrong?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Can't predict yet.
and
but as of right now, I think that Trump is looking at re-election.
Really?
and Hillary was like about 25 points down in Texas, and Biden is tied in Texas with him. So Texas is in
What I-
play. Wisconsin,
What I've taken away from the convention
Arizona's
is
in play.
yeah.
when they report their numbers, it's always 11 votes for Bernie Sanders, 50 votes
Look,
for Bernie Sanders.
let me
and
say-
62 for the next president.
Let me throw this out that no matter what happens, he's going to claim it was rigged and that the mail-in vote ruined it, and that he's not going to leave the White House. He's going to throw this thing to the Supreme Court, and no matter how much he loses by. So whether he loses or wins, we're not getting rid of this guy. How many agree with me on that?
It's going to take a while. They're going to have to pry his ass out. It's going to take a while. But you know how much his golf outings have cost the American public? $140 million. That's how much they've cost the taxpayers. $140 million.
Because when he goes to play golf, they got to take the Secret Service with him. They
And
got
you
to
know-
take the football with him.
And you know who makes a lot of money off of that? Him.
Trump.
Yeah. Trump makes money off of that because the government
And-
pays him to use his fucking hotels.
Isn't that an
I also want to say thank you to Ruben for saying that I do have a right to toss an egg at the car. Thank you, Ruben.
What?
Here's the-
What?
Oh, my neighbor's car alarm went off 3:30 a.m. to 4:15 last night. So I asked on the chat, do I have a right to toss an egg at it?
Yeah.
He said, yeah. and
Oh,
I
yeah.
did.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was told that the father of the guy is, Datuk, which they have all these titles over here. And he is, an honored by the king person, so that it might be trouble throwing the egg.
You could be executed for it.
You'll be deported to you.
I'll have the egg,
Yeah.
colored egg.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Tony?
I'll dip it in blue.
Yeah, I was gonna. You know
Royal
what I
blue.
think is gonna be the big moment of truth. I think is gonna be the debates, and then I think you'll know the winner after the debate. Maybe even after the first one.
I don't know about that.
People want to see Joe and him go at it, and Phil, you have to admit, if he can hold his own, because let's be honest, Joe is up there in age. You can't say not. We all want to see how he's going to handle the bully.
I don't.
Tony, can I ask you a question?
It's going to be a mud bath.
They hit him.
Yeah.
That's
Tony, can I ask you a question? How many people right now do you think are on the fence?
You know, my brother's going Biden. I can tell you that right off the bat. He works for the city.
How many people across the country do you really think are on the fence right now?
I'm worried about it's coming down to the battleground states, and I don't know, because I think the people. I'm afraid of the battleground states. I think I think if Trump really puts pressure on him into debate, Joe just has to show that he could hold his own mentally. I don't mean that he's slow or dementia, but I think these people down there, they're going to be hard to sell. I don't know. Alex, do you think things have changed that much down there? Like,
Yeah, the farmers are getting killed by all these tariffs and shit. They're losing money. They're going out of business. The huge, gigantic farming companies are doing great, but the small farmers, they're getting fucking killed.
All right, here's a question. I was looking at the last election, the battleground states, how close it was, and I know Phil's not going to want to hear this, but still in the back of my mind, it was so close that he won those states. You're starting to wonder, it's going to either go two ways, I think. I think if Biden comes out, and I have to tell this to you, Phil, if he comes out and it just wins handily, then I think that last election could have been rigged with Russia.
Oh, yeah, it was.
We never know how.
And this one will be too.
Because it was, Alex, look at those votes.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say exactly that I believe that China rigged the election, because she did win by really quite a majority. I mean, 3 million votes is a lot of votes. However, I don't think the Soviets are, how can I put it, savvy enough to know about the Electoral College, and that's what handed it to them. So I don't know that it was the Soviets that did it. I think they were doing a lot of pranking around the country. I think they were going into social media, you know.
That's what
Vernon's got his hand up. Vernon's got his hand up.
Soviets have been gone for a while.
Vernon's got his hand up.
In 2016, it came down to Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. And right now, well, back in 2016, Hillary didn't campaign in Michigan. She didn't campaign in Wisconsin, and she did very little in Pennsylvania. And the total votes for those three states, Trump won by 77,000 votes out of 6 million. And that's what put him over the top on the Electoral College. Well, guess what? Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, Joe Biden is competing, and he's ahead in some states double digits.
No.
Trump can't win if he loses Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Trump can't win.
He can't win without Pennsylvania. He has to have Pennsylvania.
He's not getting Pennsylvania.
He's losing Florida. He can't win without Florida.
He's not getting Pennsylvania because Pennsylvania is too close to Delaware, and they love Joe. They love Joe.
Not even get
and Joe was born in Scranton.
Yeah.
He may lose Georgia. He may lose Arizona.
You know what's going to come back to haunt him, I think? And I told this to Phil. He mocked the virus.
Yeah.
That I would run that in when he said, "Oh, it's a political hoax. It's the Democrats." I would just keep playing that over to him because he mocked. He didn't think it was. He thought it was contained here. He probably thought in the back room they knew it was here. Listen, maybe it's not as bad as we think. Maybe it's going away. He probably never thought it'd be like this. And when it started spreading, I can see saying, "Let's not test it." He probably said, "What do you?"
I think what the Democrats are going to do, they're just going to let him say whatever the fuck he wants to say, because the more he opens up his mouth, the more he's going to hang himself, because he's so stupid. And you know, that's what's going to do it.
Well, he divided but even like I was saying, like you were saying, Alex, in the beginning of the virus, he was almost making states against states. It was like a fucking civil war.
Yeah.
Well, those are Democratic states. Listen, it's the United States of America right now. What are you going to do? You're going to just...
Listen to him. Have you seen his press conferences lately? It's just like, hey, look at me. I hate everybody. The whole goddamn country's fucked up. So reelect me. It's like, what?
In your blue states, did you see that guy in the white pickup truck and the girl? They were trying to defend somebody, and the protesters, the rioters, pulled him out, knocked him out with a skateboard. I mean, this in Portland, this is the kind of stuff that's going on, the lawless society that you're going to have under Biden.
Oh God!
Guess who's president?
Well, so you're using fear tactics now.
I love
all that.
You got Pico here telling, a soothsayer saying that this is what Trump's going to do.
Phil, answer me one simple question,
don't
Phil.
tase me, Brody,
Answer one
Phil.
simple question. Answer one simple question. Who benefits from chaos?
The Democrats.
No. Autocrats benefit from chaos because then they're the law and order candidate.
The Democrats are trying to show, look how out of hand everything is under Trump. But you know what? It's backfiring.
Hey, things in Portland, Phil. Things in Portland weren't out of hand until they came in and tried to take over.
Like protect their buildings, but
their buildings weren't in danger.
Now that they pulled out, they're going after the police. They're not going to be happy until they, they turn the whole place into a
Phil,
shit.
have you ever been to Portland? It's like the most pussy city in America. It's not like they're exactly the most radical bunch of people. They just want to sit around in tie-dye shirts, for Christ's sake.
Why are they beating people in the street?
They're beating people. Why is the government beating people in the street? Why are they illegally arresting them without any identification?
Was some guy named Love
unmarked vehicles,
and he ripped him out of his vehicle. And what they were trying
I love how Phil takes one incident and then tries to say it's going on all over the country.
It is going on all over, but it's happening to the police. But you know what?
If I hear Trump mention Paterson, New Jersey, one more fucking time,
I love it. I love it.
No, but it's the only case he can come up with where there's been any kind of mail fraud.
By the way, the article in the Washington Post, which somebody here quoted about Paterson, New Jersey, failed to mention three things. Number one, that every single vote that was faulty was disqualified. Right. So they were caught. Part two, no, you didn't let me finish. Part two, the whole purpose of the article was to show two things. One, that voter fraud doesn't really exist, and two, that the difference between absentee ballots and mail-in ballots is non-existent. You suddenly stop quoting that article once everybody else read it.
Bullshit. I sent it to everybody.
I know, and you misread it.
And that the system worked because they caught them.
That is just an example of what could happen.
What could happen?
They caught them.
By the way, you know what, Phil, be quiet. Phil, you want something to really worry about? I'll give you a scenario to worry about. Aliens come from outer space and they take
Alien
over.
DNA is infecting all of our food.
What's the election in New York right now that they still months later haven't been able to figure out because of your mail-in voting?
And in Georgia, the man in charge of counting the votes was the man who became Stacey Abrams, the person that defeated Stacey Abrams. Pretty cool arrangement. He's not only the winner, but he was also in charge of counting the ballots.
Everybody lies. Everybody is honest. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Well, let's see.
Who's the conspiracy monger now?
Well, let's see.
That was not a conspiracy. That was fact.
Yeah,
Vindman lied.
He was the Secretary of State in Georgia.
Comey lied. Clapper lied. I could go on all night. A list as
the
long
Durham
as my left arm.
The Durham investigation proved that the whole thing was
Can I say
What about the Senate
Hold
Intelligence
on
Committee?
John Larkin.
What about the Senate Intelligence Committee, Phil? A bunch of Republicans did an investigation on their own in the Senate, which is controlled by the Republicans.
And they were
said that it was not a hoax. The Russian interference was not a hoax.
Did anybody see that interview with Ron Johnson, the senator from Wisconsin, who's in charge of, the investigation into the origins of the Russiagate? Well, he was being interviewed by this right-wing radio guy named Hugh Hewitt. And Hewitt was going, why haven't you subpoenaed them? Why don't you, get them up in front? And Ron Johnson, we got to get the documents first. We got to get the documents first.
The
bottom line is They've got nothing. And if they
wouldn't give the
subpoena,
document.
if they bring Comey or Brennan or Clapper, it's just going to be a big shit show on Trump, and everyone's going to laugh at them. That's why they're not going to subpoena
Alex
anybody.
is dying to do the theme, right?
What?
Why?
Oh, it's 8:54. I'm so hot here that it looked like 8:59.
Is that a white flag?
Huh? No, I don't have the fan in here tonight, and I'm dying.
But what's Trump going to talk about in his stupid thing? You know, he keeps repeating the same old stuff every time. He goes over the same routine. You can write down every subject and everything he's going to bring up on that subject.
That's because it's the truth.
I think we should all, he's been calling it the China virus, which I'm getting sick and tired of.
And he's been calling it universal mail-in voting. There is no such thing.
There's no such thing as universal mail-in voting. He's got that mixed up with universal medical care. But no, I think that we should just start calling it the Trump virus.
Yeah.
Because he spread it. He spread it in America.
Yeah. He spread it in America, but your guy Cuomo put 11,000 dead into.
I got news for you. There weren't 11,000 dead in nursing homes, Phil.
Yeah.
There weren't 11,000 dead in nursing homes, although it did profoundly hit nursing homes because they were enclosed situations with a population of compromised people.
Right.
Okay. So and Cuomo didn't put them in there. And Cuomo did exactly what the CDC said. Once they were well, and they could be sent back to the nursing home, and that's the CDC's recommendation. And he went by it and said he wishes he didn't.
Right.
Okay.
And he killed 11,000.
He didn't kill. You find me that 11,000 people who died in nursing homes.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, you're right. I can hardly wait to see what you send me.
Patterson, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Patterson, New Jersey.
19%.
Yeah, Patterson, New Jersey, right? If I hear Patterson, New Jersey one more time, I swear I'm going to puke.
Yeah.
If Trump was on the Titanic, he would have grabbed the dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only in New Jersey could you have that kind of fraud.
Yeah, right.
They didn't have fraud. They caught
They caught him.
They have fraud to catch someone. There's no fraud. Who are you going to catch? Hey. Hi.
What? Oh, what? Oh, hey. Oh, it's a female amongst us guys.
It's Adrian.
Yeah, you got rid of that other guy in the chair. Good.
Hiya, Adrian. Where did the ugly guy go?
Why are you looking at me?
He knows better. Hi there.
She just loves the camera, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. How old are you now, Adrian? How old?
4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
He's 4.
Wow. When are you going to be 5?
Next year.
Because when you're 5, I think you can marry me, right? She's adorable. She's
looking
adorable.
for Daddy's response.
Yeah, she's looking for Daddy's response. Anyway,
Here's one other one.
There's the other. Oh, wow.
Wow.
What a gorgeous family. Just a gorgeous family. And I have a funny feeling Mom's around there, too. Anyway, hey, listen, Adrian. Good seeing you, Adrian. Bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye, Jeff. Goodbye, Robert. Love you. Charlie, you're great. Vernon, always a pleasure to have you here. John Larkin, thank you so much. Got to do something about that light. Adrian, okay. And Tony and Phil and Bree. Everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give you a big wave goodbye back, okay? There we go. There goes our citizen panel, ladies and gentlemen. There's our citizen panel, and they're out of here, and I'm getting ready to get out of here. Let me just hang up on everybody and tell you that Jack Bishop is next with The Intersection over most of this same GabNet. Tomorrow night at 8:30, there's the Arena with the franchise MC, and then we'll be back again tomorrow night, 10:30 Eastern Time, same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, and stay safe out there. And for your fellow person, please wear a mask, okay? Good night.